Legend of Yufei, Chapter 11.
So the text kicks off with this guy, Zhu Senwei. He's asking the Yufei about a sword, a particular sword he has.
Right. And Yufei starts laying out the history.
Yeah, and he lists off some really famous ancient swords, like name-dropping almost. Longquan, Tai, Baihang, Zidian, Moye, Ganjiang, Yucheng, Jupei. It's quite the lineup.
It really is. And many of those, like Moy and Ganjiang, they have their own famous, often tragic legends, usually involving huge sacrifices. So mentioning them sets a high bar. It tells you this sword we're focusing on, the Zanlu, must be something special.
Exactly. So the same character in this sword's origin is a master smith, Ouyang Yeshan, from Sevenly Mountain.
And here's a fascinating detail he's described as being from the state of Han. Now, just to be clear, this is the ancient Chinese state of Han, not modern Korea, even though the characters look the same. It shows you, though, how skills and culture moved around back then. Master artisans weren't just stuck in one place.
Right. And Yishan gets this major commission from the king of Chu, who has this huge ambition, wants to basically dominate the feudal lords. So he tasks Yishan with forging two extraordinary swords, male and female swords, the text calls them, and the king believes they should be able to, get this, fly up and kill.
Fly up and go. I mean, imagine being asked to make that. And Yishan's in a really tough spot here.
Yeah.
Because the king of Chu, the text is very clear. He's a tyrannical ruler.
Yeah, not the kind of person you argue with.
Exactly. Refusing could be fatal. But making swords like that? Yishan knows it'll take 3 years. A huge undertaking.
The king just says, fine, take 3 years, probably didn't even grasp what was involved.
Probably not.
So here's the first big twist. Yeshan agrees, but secretly. He starts forging a third sword on the side. 3 years pass. The two commissioned swords are done. And Yeshan has this terrible feeling, a premonition. He tells his wife, who's pregnant at the time, look, the king is going to kill me.
He predicts it.
Yeah. He figures the king won't want anyone else to have weapons this powerful, so he'll eliminate the source.
Which is just, wow. The foresight, but also the tragedy of it. He knows he's going to die, but he's already planning for what comes next. It's all about sacrifice.
Totally. He tells his wife, bury this third sword, the male sword, and if our child is a boy, raise him to avenge me with it.
And he even promises to protect them from the underworld. That belief in ancestral duty, it's so strong.
It is. And then, exactly as he predicted, it happens. Yishan presents the two swords to the king. They, unsurprisingly, don't fly up.
Right. Because how could they?
The king is furious, executes Yishan on the spot.
Just like that.
His wife hears the news. She grieves, but she has to suppress it, right?
Yeah.
Because of his final wish. 10 months later, she has a son. And she raises him, holding on to this terrible secret.
Keeping that promise.
Okay, fast forward 7 years. The boy's in school, gets into a fight, and the other kids, they're cruel. They call him fatherless.
Oh, heartbreak.
He runs home, devastated, crying, demanding to know about his father and his mother. Well, she breaks down, tells him everything.
The whole story. The swords, the king, the execution.
Yeah, the sacrifice, the reason he's fatherless.
And you just think about the weight of that on a 7-year-old kid. Destiny, vengeance.
Yeah.
It's immense. But that's often how these legends work, isn't it? The young, the innocent, carrying these huge burdens.
It's incredible. And the boy's reaction, no hesitation. He immediately says, show me the sword. Where is it? His mother, maybe she regrets telling him now, realizing what she's unleashed, but she digs it up. The boy takes the sword, says goodbye to his mother, and just leaves. 7 years old, heading off to the state of Chu to kill a king.
Unbelievable resolve. But then the story gets even darker for the mother.
It does. She's overcome with, I guess, despair, remorse, knowing what she's sent her son to do. She hangs herself.
Oh, no.
The son finds her. And in this really grim act of devotion, he burns their house down to cremate her.
A funeral pyre. So young and dealing with so much death.
Then he travels alone, makes it to Sevenly Mountain where his father worked, and he just cries for 3 days and 3 nights until, the text says, blood flows from his eyes.
That's such a powerful image, showing his absolute grief and determination.
And then, seemingly out of nowhere, a Taoist priest appears, descends from the mountain, sees the boy weeping blood, asks him what's wrong. The boy tells him the whole story. Vengeance for his father.
Okay, so a potential helper arrives.
A helper, yes, but this is where the story takes a truly bizarre, almost unbelievable turn. The Taoist says, okay, I'll avenge your father for you. But, he says, I need something from you in return.
Right. There's always a price in these tales.
The boy doesn't even blink, offers the Taoist his own head.
He offers his head.
His head. And the Taoist just accepts.
Accepts.
Accepts. And the boy, right then and there, beheads himself.
Wow. That goes beyond dedication. It's almost ritualistic.
Exactly. It's this absolute commitment to vengeance, to filial piety, maybe. It's staggering.
It really speaks volumes about the cultural values embedded in the story. Honor, duty, maybe trusting fate or the Taoist's power. It's extreme.
So the Taoist now has the boy's head and the sword. He travels to the Chu Palace, goes right up to the main gate, the Noon Gate, and then he does the performance. He laughs out loud 3 times, then he bursts into tears 3 times.
Definitely trying to get noticed. What's the explanation for that?
He actually explains it himself, according to the text. The laughter is because the world doesn't recognize my treasure. And the tears are because I have this treasure but haven't met someone who appreciates it.
So it's a coded message. Part arrogance, part lament, all designed to pique the king's curiosity.
Exactly. And it works like a charm. He then announces he has this amazing thing, an elixir of immortality.
The ultimate lure for a tyrant.
Right. So the king summons him immediately. Inside the palace, the Taoist presents the boy's head, says, "This is the elixir."
The king must have been completely baffled. Ahead.
Totally confused. But the Taoist launches into these incredibly specific, bizarre instructions. Get 2 pots of oil, he says. Then he describes this process, this ritual.
Oh, okay, here we go.
Right. He says, put the head in the oil. After 1 key, that's like 15 minutes, the lips will turn red, teeth white. After 2 key, the eyes and mouth start moving. 3 key, the head will be able to name every official in the court.
Whoa, okay. He's really selling this.
Oh, he's not done. 4K, a lotus leaf and flowers sprout from the head. 5K, a lotus pod forms. And after 6K, lotus seeds appear. And just one of those seeds grants 120 years of life.
It's pure theater. He's playing the king like a fiddle, using his greed for immortality against him.
The king is completely hooked, amazed by this unfolding spectacle, follows every instruction. The whole court is watching, stunned, which probably just reinforces the king's belief.
Makes him feel like he's witnessing a genuine miracle orchestrated just for him.
So we reach the climax. The Taoist says, "Your Majesty, the elixir is ready. Come and retrieve it." The king steps down, walks towards the pot, reaches in, and in that instant, the Taoist whips out the sword, the Zanlu, and slices off the king's head.
Boy, just like that.
The king's head tumbles right into the oil pot with the boys.
The ultimate act of vengeance. So theatrical, so brutal. And the irony. Seeking immortality, he finds death in the very pot meant to grant it.
A classic case of hubris leading to downfall. But wait, there's one more twist.
There's more.
Oh yeah, the king's officials, they see this, they rush forward to grab the Taoist. And the Taoist, he calmly takes the Zanlu sword and beheads himself.
He kills himself too.
Yep. His head falls into the pot, joining the king's and the boys.
So now there are 3 heads in the pot.
3 heads. The officials fish them out, but they're identical. Boiled, bald. They can't tell which one is the king.
You can't distinguish the king. That's morbidly practical.
So what do? They string all 3 heads together and bury them.
Which leads, I assume, to the saying.
Exactly. This whole bizarre event is said to be the origin of the saying, Chu has the 3 heads tomb.
Wow. Embedding the legend right into the landscape, making the story unforgettable.
And that sword, the one that did the deed. Its name, we learn, is Zanlu. The text even adds that much later it belonged to Zhu Yirengui, a famous Tang Dynasty general, giving it even more historical weight.
So its legend just keeps growing through time.
Right. So back in the present of the story, Yu Fei has just heard this entire incredible saga from his master,
Zhu Tong.
and Yu Fei is just stunned, wondering how on earth this legendary sword ended up with Zhu Sanwei.
You can imagine it's quite a story to absorb.
Zhu Sanwei just smiles, praises Yu Fei, says he's indeed learned, really knows his history. And then comes the big moment. Zhu Sanwei holds up the Zanlu sword. He says it's been hidden, buried for several generations. But now, he declares, it has finally met its true master in Yu Fei.
Wow, that's huge.
He tells Yu Fei he's destined to be a pillar of the state, a great leader, and giving him this sword fulfills an ancestral wish.
So it's not just a gift, it's like passing the torch. A recognition of destiny. The sword itself becomes a symbol of Yu Fei's potential and his connection to this heroic, albeit dark, past like Excalibur almost.
Yu Fei, being humble, tries to refuse, says he's not worthy of such a legendary artifact.
Understandable after hearing that story.
But Zhou Sanwei insists, calls it an ancestral command, can't be refused. So Yu Fei accepts the Zanlu sword, becomes its new keeper.
carrying on that history with him.
And one last little detail the text adds. Later on, his brothers buys 3 more swords, maybe inspired by the significance of the Zanlu. All right, so Yu Fei and his 4 sworn brothers, Tang Huai, Zhang Xian, Liang Yi, and the memorable Nu Gao, they've just gotten back to their inn.
Right, they went out to buy swords earlier, and now it's the night before this huge martial arts exam, the Cao Wuju.
Which was a massive deal back then. Think of it like a major civil service exam, but for warriors. Your ticket to rank and influence.
And the innkeeper, he plays a nice little role here. He promised them breakfast, didn't he?
Yeah.
Real early.
Yeah, he basically said, don't you worry, gentlemen. Lots of examinees staying here. We'll be up all night making sure you get fed and out the door on time.
Nice guy.
Yeah.
Shows how many people were pinning their hopes on this exam.
Absolutely. The atmosphere must have been electric. You can feel the anticipation. It tells you just how much society valued martial skill then. It wasn't just fighting. It was a path upwards.
Okay, fast forward to the morning. 4 a.m. Ouch.
Yeah, early start.
Yeah.
And the brothers get ready. And wow, they make an entrance, visually speaking.
They really do. The descriptions are great. Tang Huai, he's in a white robe, silver armor, got his bow and arrows ready. Zhang Xin's in a green robe, gold armor, sword and whip. Wang Yi, I love this, like a lump of fiery charcoal in red and gold.
Oh, vivid.
And Nu Gao, a dark cloud in his heavy iron gear. You can just imagine them clanking down the stairs.
A proper spectacle. But then
there's Yu Fei. Amidst all this finery, all this new shiny armor, he's wearing his old battle robe.
the same one he wore the first time he took the exam.
What do you make of that? Is he just being practical, or is there more to it? Humility.
I think it's significant. It feels like a deliberate contrast, you know? It's our first real insight into his character here. Maybe he's signaling that it's about substance, not show.
While his brothers are all about looking the part.
Right. Decked out in their best. Yu Fei chooses something familiar, maybe even a bit worn. It suggests a quiet confidence, like, my skills will do the talking, not my clothes. Sets him apart immediately.
Okay, so they get outside, mount their horses, ready to go. But then the innkeeper pops up again.
He does, and he's, the text says, fumbling around behind Yu Gao's horse specifically.
While a helper holds a lantern. Then another helper brings out wine.
And candy. Don't forget the candy.
Ah, yes, candies and wine. And the innkeeper insists on this on-horse cups ritual.
Yeah, the Shengma Bei. It's a send-off tradition. 3 cups of wine each for good luck.
And he wishes them well, right? Tells them to go seize the top scholar position. Which is aiming high. That's like aiming for the very top military post.
It is. But the really charming bit, the bit that tells you about the innkeeper,
Is what he did while fumbling behind Nu Gao's horse.
exactly. He secretly tied a pouch to the saddle.
And inside.
Dozens of steamed buns and a good amount of beef. Mantou and Nuro.
Wow. Just snuck it on there.
And the text explicitly says this was his custom, his rule almost. He did this for examinees because he knew they might get to the grounds early and face a long, hungry wait.
That's wonderful. It's such a small detail, but it speaks volumes about hospitality back then. Real care for these guys on a stressful day.
It really does, like you said, anticipating their needs, going beyond just providing a room. It humanizes the whole era.
Okay, so they ride off, snacks secretly attached to Nu Gao's horse. They get to the examination grounds, Xiaochang, and it's chaos.
Packed. Utterly packed with examinees. People everywhere.
So Yu Fei, being practical, says, let's find somewhere quieter. They go behind the main hall, settle down to wait.
And after a while, Nu Gao has a moment, a sudden thought.
Uh-oh. Involving food, I presume.
You guessed it. He remembers the innkeeper messing about with his saddle.
Checks it out.
And finds the pouch.
Jackpot.
Now, this is peak Nu Gao, isn't it? His thought process is something else.
It really is. He sees the food and thinks, oh, fantastic. The innkeeper must have given one of these to each of us.
Logical. In a Nu Gao sort of way.
And then he thinks, well, we won't have time to eat once the competition starts.
So...
No, he eats it. All of it. Every single bun, all the beef. Just demolishes the entire stash by himself.
Oh, Nu Gao. The text says he felt stuffed beyond belief. I bet he did. It's just so relatable, though, isn't it? That impulse, that slightly flawed logic, driven by hunger and maybe a bit of anxiety. He genuinely thinks he's being practical.
Until
Wang Yi starts feeling hungry.
Right. Wang Yi says, hey, Brother Nu, feeling a bit peckish. How about those snacks the innkeeper gave us? Let's share them out.
And Nu Gao, probably wiping crumbs off his armor, says, snacks? What snacks? Don't you have your own?
Leading Wang Yi to say, no, They were all tied to your horse.
And Niu Gao's reaction is just perfect. Oh, this is bad. I thought you all got one. I ate it all. Stuffed myself silly. How was I supposed to know?
You can just picture Wang Yi's face.
Uh-huh.
He's like, how could you? You eat till you burst and leave us starving. Classic sibling-style arguments.
Absolutely. Hunger, stress. It's a recipe for a little squabble.
But then Yu Fei steps in, and this again shows his character.
Yes, this is a key moment for understanding his leadership style, even this early.
He doesn't shout. He just calmly tells Wang Yi, stop arguing. If people hear us, it looks bad. It's unseemly.
Keeping the group's reputation in mind. Very important.
Then he turns to Niu Gao. Not angry, but firm.
Gently corrective.
He says basically, look, that wasn't right. Even if the others didn't have snacks, you should have asked before eating everything. You can't just polish it all off yourself.
It's brilliant, really. He addresses the behavior, explains why it was wrong, the lack of consideration, without escalating the conflict or humiliating Niu Gao. He manages the team, maintains decorum.
And Niu Gao gets it right. He promises.
Understood. Next time, if there's anything, we'll definitely eat it together. Lesson learned, hopefully. It shows Yu Fei's correction landed effectively.
It's such a human little scene.
Yeah.
But just as that little drama resolved.
That twist.
Exactly. An officer shows up. From the garrison commander's office, no less. The Lu Shou Yamen. That's a big deal, right? High command.
A very big deal. This isn't just some random soldier.
And he's got 2 people with him carrying food baskets. Big ones.
And they announced they've been specifically sent to bring food and wine for Yu Fei and his companions.
Wow. Talk about timing. The brothers are obviously thrilled, very grateful. They start eating.
All except one.
Right. Niu Gao, still full to bursting, has to pass. Wang Yi gets in a little dig, naturally. Guess you couldn't manage anymore.
But what does this unexpected delivery tell us? Why Yu Fei specifically?
That's the really interesting part, isn't it?
Yeah.
It implies Yu Fei already has status, recognition, even before the exam.
It strongly suggests that this isn't just random catering. It's official provision sent by a top commander for him. It points towards existing patronage networks, or at least that Yu Fei's reputation preceded him.
Someone important already had their eye on him.
Precisely. It gives you a peek into the hierarchies of the time, how connections and reputation could work. It's like a subtle endorsement before he even draws his sword in the competition.
Sun's barely up, but the imperial examination grounds are already packed, buzzing with this. Almost unbearable tension.
Candidates from everywhere. The text says 9 provinces and 4 prefectures, so basically the whole empire.
Their futures are on the line with this one test. And then the 3 chief examiners arrive. Zhang Bangchang, Wang Duel, and Zhang Jun.
They make their entrance, take their places in the martial arts hall. You can almost feel the air get heavy.
Total silence, I imagine.
Pretty much. And then Zhongzi arrives at the martial arts hall. His presence, it sort of shifts the energy immediately.
How so?
Well, there are some pleasantries, tea is served, you know, the usual formalities. But almost right away, the tension just skyrockets.
And it happens fast because Zhang Bangchang, he doesn't waste any time, does he?
Not a second. He just immediately throws down the gauntlet, openly accuses Zhongzi of favoritism.
Favoritism towards whom?
Towards Yu Fei, a candidate from Tangyin County. He basically implies Yu Fei is Zhongzi's hero, his special honored student.
Wow. In front of everyone. How does an accusation like that land in such a formal public setting?
It's a massive challenge. Right to Zhongzi's integrity. The text says it makes him he blushes, his heart starts pounding, you can feel the weight of it.
Was it true? Was Yu Fei his student?
Well, it was kind of an open secret that Zhongzi had been really generous, very hospitable to all the candidates, sending food, things like that. So maybe not a formal student in that sense, but definitely looked after.
Okay.
But here's the twist. The other 3 examiners, Zhang Bangcheng, Wang Duo, and Zhang Jun, they weren't exactly clean themselves. They'd apparently already taken gifts from Liang Wang, another candidate, a prince, actually.
Ah, so they have their own reasons for maybe wanting to undermine Zhongzi or control the outcome?
Precisely. Their motives for the accusation are, let's say, murky.
So Zhongzi is on the spot. His integrity questioned in public. What does he do? Because he turns it around, doesn't he? Quite brilliantly.
He does. A really sharp pivot. He declares the exam a yusalu, a national grand ceremony. Something sacred, really important.
Yeah, elevating the stakes.
Exactly. And then he demands that all the examiners take a public oath, right there, before the gods, to prove their sincerity and their commitment to fairness.
Whoa! An oath That's unexpected.
Completely unprecedented. It immediately puts everyone else on the defensive.
And he goes first, right? Leads by example.
He does. He kneels down, prays to heaven, to the spirits, vowing to be totally impartial, to select genuine talent for the court.
And the consequence? If he's dishonest?
Chillingly direct. He must die under sword and arrow.
That is a serious vow. No messing around.
Absolutely. A very traditional, very grave oath for that time. Now, Zheng Bengsheng sees this, and inwardly, he's furious.
I bet.
The text tells us his inner thought. Basically, this old man is ridiculous, or what a muddled fool.
He thinks it's absurd.
Totally. But he's trapped. He has to kneel. But his oath. Oh, it's a piece of work. A masterclass in, well, cunning.
Okay, what does he say?
He vows that if he deceives the emperor, or takes bribes, or neglects talent, he will. Get this.
Which means?
Be a pig in a foreign country in this life and die by the sword.
A pig in a foreign country.
Exactly. And he's incredibly smug about it. He thinks, how could that possibly happen? He even calls it a toothache curse. Something annoying, but ultimately meaningless.
So he thinks he's totally gamed the system.
Yeah.
Just saying words that sound bad but mean nothing.
That's his calculation. It really reveals his character, you know? Cynical, trying to outsmart fate itself.
And what about the second examiner, Wang Duo?
Wang Duo sees Bang Tang's clever oath and immediately copies the style.
Oh, no.
He vows that if he's dishonest and if Bang Chang becomes a pig, then he, Wang Duo, will...
become a sheep and die the same way?
Yep, become a sheep and die the same way. He's apparently secretly amused by it all, thinking, you're tricky, but hey, I can play this game too. It's like a contest in who can make the most ridiculous loophole-filled oath.
Okay, so we have a pig and a sheep. But there's the third examiner, Zongjun. Does he join the barnyard pledges? Or does he do something different? I feel like this is where it gets really interesting.
He absolutely does something different. And you're right, this is where it gets fascinating and maybe a bit unsettling. Zheng Jun watches the other two make their tricky, clever oaths. He clearly sees what they're doing.
He's not fooled.
Not at all. And his own oath is unique. And, as the narrator points out later, kind of ominous, he kneels and vows that if he harbors a deceptive heart, he will
die by the mouths of 10,000 people. What does that mean?
literally to be killed by the words, the denunciations, the accusations of the masses.
Wow. That's different. Not an animal in a foreign land. Something much more possible, perhaps.
Perhaps. But here's the really crucial part, the thing that gives you chills when you read it. While the narrator pretty much dismisses the pig and sheep oaths as just land lip service, empty words, it explicitly states that Zhang Jin's oath, this vow to die by the mouths of 10,000 people, was later...
It was fulfilled.
It was fulfilled. At Yufei's tomb, no less, or Yu Muwang's tomb, as he was later known.
Wait, so his clever oath actually came true, unlike the others?
Exactly. It wasn't just a metaphor, it wasn't just words. It apparently became his literal fate. It really makes you, the listener, stop and think, doesn't it?
It really does. Do words, even ones meant to deceive or evade, carry some kind of, I don't know, prophetic weight? Especially in these moments of public trust.
It's a profound question the story raises. Is there some kind of inherent justice, maybe, that catches up with cleverness eventually?
That is something to chew on.
Yeah.
But the drama isn't quite over yet, is it? After the oaths, they all sit back down.
Right, back to their seats. But Zongzi, he's still thinking. He realizes the other three, despite their oaths, probably still intend to favor Prince Liang Wang Chaigi is his name for the top spot.
The one they took gifts from.
The very same. So Zongzi knows he needs to do something more to ensure fairness. He needs to act strategically.
So what does he do? Confront them again?
No, he goes right to the source of their likely favoritism. He immediately calls for Chaigi, the prince.
Summons the prince himself. Bold.
Very. When Prince Chaigi arrives, Zongzi doesn't hold back. He immediately confronts him for not kneeling upon entering. Asks him, Fiané? Basically, why are you being so arrogant?
Ouch. Calling out a prince.
And then he lays down the law. Since you came here to take the exam, you have descended to the rank of a candidate.
So your title means nothing here.
Precisely. He emphasizes that a candidate, any candidate, must bow to the chief examiner. No exceptions for royalty.
And he pushes further, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Questions the prince's motives.
He does. He asks Chaigi why on earth he'd give up his princely status to compete for the title anyway. He strongly implies he was put up to it by Hubert. The words of treacherous, corrupt officials.
Basically saying, this wasn't your idea, was it? Someone is using you.
That's the strong implication. And then Zhangzi delivers this really sharp warning. He reminds the prince that there are many candidates here who are highly skilled, far superior to him.
So don't assume you'll win just because you're a prince.
Exactly. The top spot isn't guaranteed. And then Zhangzi gives him some rather humiliating advice. Withdraw now. Go back to your own territory and preserve your reputation before you potentially fail or embarrass yourself.
Wow. Just tells him to quit. How does the prince react?
He's completely crushed. The text says Liang Wang is left helpless, with no recourse. He can only bow his head and kneel, utterly unable to speak.
Silence. Put firmly in his place.
A total public humiliation and a powerful assertion of Longzi's authority and the rules of the examination over rank and privilege. Liang Wang, the prince, aiming for Zhuangwan. What's really going on? Because it can't just be about academics.
No, not at all. That whole ambition is just a front. The real player here, the one pulling the strings, is this figure called King Wang Shan.
King Wang Shan.
Yeah, also known as the Golden Saber King. He runs things from Taixing Mountain, and the text makes him sound, well, terrifying.
How so?
Wields a golden-backed mountain-chopping saber, supposedly has the strength of 10,000 men, commands this huge bandit army, over 50,000 strong.
50,000, wow.
Yeah, led by tough generals like Ma Bao, He Lu, He Ren. And critically, he's got these really sharp strategists, Deng Wu and Tian Qi, described as resourceful and cunning.
Okay.
Their mountain base.
Yeah.
Supposedly impregnable. The official army just can't touch them.
Right, so this Wang Shan isn't just some local bandit. He's got serious power and serious ambition.
Oh, absolutely. His goal isn't just raiding, it's massive. He wants to usurp the Song dynasty. Take it all.
Usurp the dynasty. Okay, that's huge. And for that, he needs someone on the inside.
Precisely. An internal ally. And that's where Liang Wang, our prince, comes in.
So how did Wang Shan hook him? Did he just approach him?
It was much cleverer than that. It was an ambush, but not a violent one initially. Wang Shan and his strategist Tian Qi intercepted Liang Wang while he was traveling to the capital.
Intercepted him? How?
They basically stopped his procession, invited him, let's say, up to their mountain stronghold, put him in a position where he couldn't easily refuse.
Okay, so they get him onto their turf. Then what?
Then Tian Qi, the strategist, goes to work on him. He gives this incredibly persuasive, really manipulative speech.
What did he say?
He basically rewrites history for Liang Wang. He brings up how the Song dynasty started Zhao Qingyin's Chengqiu mutiny, essentially a military coup,
Right, I know the story.
and the fall of southern Pang, Liang Wang's ancestral state. Tian Qi twists it all, painting the Song founders as unjust usurpers.
Ah, so he's playing on Liang Wang's ego, his sense of grievance.
Exactly. He's stoking resentment, making Liang Wang feel like his family was cheated out of their rightful place. It's a classic manipulation tactic.
And Liang Wang buys it.
Hook, line, and sinker, it seems. Because right after that, Tian Qi lays out the actual plan.
Which is?
Yang Wang goes to the capital, takes the military exam, becomes the Wuzhuangwen, the top military scholar.
Yeah.
Then, using that position, he gathers all the other 360 successful candidates, the Jinshi, makes them his guys, his internal allies.
Allies inside the system.
Right. Once they're in place, Liang Wang sends a signal back to Taixing Mountain. Wang Shan invades, and with Liang Wang's network helping from within.
Chaos.
Total chaos.
Right.
And the promise to Liang Wang, Wang Shan will help him get the restoration of his old empire.
Yeah.
Make him emperor.
It's almost hard to believe a prince would fall for that. He's already so high up.
I know. But the sources say he was greatly delighted. He immediately starts promising Wang Shan shared wealth, shared power.
Completely missing the point.
Completely. He has no idea. Wang Shan just sees him as a useful tool, a pawn, to clear the way so Wang Shan can grab the throne for himself.
So Liang Wang is just utterly duped. What does he do next? He gets to the capital.
And he acts immediately. Doesn't waste any time. First thing, he bribed 3 chief examiners.
Just like that. Bribed them.
Yep. And they agreed, just like that, to sell the military's Wang Yin title to him. The corruption is just right there on the surface.
Wow. So the whole exam is rigged from the start.
Pretty much. But then something unexpected happens. A bit of integrity shines through.
Oh.
A guy named Zhangzi. The text calls him loyal to the country. And somehow he finds out about the bribery.
Okay. Does he report it?
He does something even bolder. He confronts Liang Wang directly, in public. He rebukes him.
In public? Wow, that takes guts.
Absolutely. And it leaves the prince completely speechless, totally flustered. A real moment of defiance.
How did the corrupt officials react, the ones who took the bribe?
Well, one of them, Zanbang Jiang, he gets really agitated. He's clearly rattled by Zongzi calling out the scheme.
So what does he do? Confront Zongzi?
No, he does something, well, almost petty. He tries to deflect. He calls for his own student to come forward, a young man named Yu Fei from Tanying County.
Yu Fei? Is he part of the scheme?
No, not at all. It seems like Zhang Bangcheng is just trying to show off his own guy, maybe intimidate Zongzi, regain control of the situation.
So Yu Fei comes forward. What's he like?
The text says he kneels humbly before Zhang Bangcheng.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't seem like much initially.
How so?
Zhang Bangcheng looks him over and is pretty dismissive. Notes he's not outstanding in appearance, not amazing in looks. Basically asks him, you think someone like you could win the Zhuangyuan?
Ouch! Judging a book by its cover.
Totally. But Yu Fei's reply is brilliant in its humility.
Yeah. What does he say?
He says he wouldn't dare to aspire to Zhuangyuan. He's just one participant among thousands, and only one can win. It completely disarms Zhang Bangcheng.
Huh. Clever. So what does Zhang Bangcheng do then?
He's kind of stuck, so he just makes up a test on the spot. Says Liang Wang and Yu Fei have to write essays about their chosen weapons.
Weapons. Okay.
Liang Wang chose the saber, Yu Fei the spear. So an essay on saber versus an essay on spear.
All right. The tension must be high now. How do they do?
Well, Liang Wang, the text calls him Chaigi here. That's his personal name. He's still rattled from Zongzi's earlier rebuke.
Understandable.
He tries to write his essay on saber, but he's so flustered he messes up the first character. He tries to write Doe's saber,
Yeah.
but he accidentally extends a stroke and it ends up looking like Li strength. Has to
Ah.
erase it, rewrite, gets all anxious. It slows him right down.
Oh boy. Not a good start. And Yu Fei?
Yu Fei, calm, collected, finishes his essay on spear quickly, efficiently, hands it in. No drama.
Okay, so the contrast is pretty stark. Now the judgment.
Right. Zhang Bancheng, the corrupt examiner, reads Liang Wang's paper first.
And?
He barely looks at it and just kind of hides it in his sleeve.
Mm.
It's a clear sign, it's bad.
Right. Keeping it hidden. Then he reads Yu Fei's.
Yes. And his reaction is completely different. He's astonished. He actually says out loud, this man's literary talent is better than mine.
Wow. Even he admits it.
Yes. And he even mutters, no wonder old man Zong loves him, referring to Zongzi. It's like, even through his corruption, he can't deny genuine brilliance when he sees it.
That's fascinating. So does he change his mind? Give Yu Fei the recognition he deserves?
You think? Maybe. But no. Almost immediately, he snaps back to his plan. He purposely shouts, throws Yu Fei's paper on the ground.
Throws it down.
Yeah, and orders the guards to throw him out. Just like that. Suppress the talent because it interferes with the bribe.
Unbelievable. But Zongzi is there, right?
Zongzi is there, and he is not having it. He shouts, again, stopping the guards. Hold on, give me that paper.
Good for him. Do the guards obey?
They hesitate. They're scared of Zhang Bangcheng, obviously.
Mm.
So Yu Fei actually has to pick up his own paper off the floor and hand it to Zongzi.
Humiliating. But at least Zongzi gets it. What does he think?
Zongzi reads it and is deeply impressed. He thinks every word like gold and stone, every character like pearls and jade. True artistry.
Mm-hmm.
And his private thought is scathing. This corrupt official values profit over talent. He sees right through Zhang Bangcheng.
So what does Zongzi do with the paper?
He does the same thing Zhang Bangcheng did, physically. He hides the paper in his sleeves, but the meaning is totally opposite.
How so?
Zhang hid Liang Wang's bad paper out of shame or to cover up. Zongzi hides Yu Fei's brilliant paper to signify its value, its worth, and probably to protect it. And Yu Fei from Zhang Gangcheng.
Okay, that makes sense. Protecting the evidence of talent.
Exactly. And then Zongzi turns to Yu Fei and gives him this warning. It's cryptic but powerful.
What does he say?
He says, with your talent, how can you achieve fame? Don't you know about Su Qin's 10,000-word memorial? Or Wen Tingyin's Ode to the Southern Flower?
Okay, hold on. Those sound like historical references. What's he getting at? Let's unpack this a bit.
Right. They're crucial references. Zongzi isn't just making small talk. He's delivering a serious warning based on history.
So, Su Qin's 10,000-word memorial, what's that story?
Su Qin was brilliant. He went to the state of Qin with this amazing proposal, a 10,000-word memorial, hoping for a top job.
And did he get it?
Nope. The prime minister of Qin at the time, Yang, recognized Su Qin's genius immediately. but he was also deeply jealous of his talent.
Ah, jealousy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yang feared Su Qin would outshine him, take his power, so he rejected Su Qin's brilliant plan and instead promoted someone less capable, Zhang Yi, who wouldn't be a threat. Talent sidelined by insecurity.
Okay, I see the parallel. What about the second one? When Tingyin and the Ode to the Southern Flower. That sounds even more ominous.
It is. This story involves Huan Wen, a
Wow.
prime minister in the Jin dynasty. He needed to write this specific poem, the Ode to the Southern Flower. It was about a flower called an iron-stemmed begonia.
Okay.
But Huan Wen couldn't write it well himself, so he secretly got his ghostwriter, Wen Tingyan, who was a known literary genius, to compose it for him.
A ghostwriter.
Brilliant. Tingyan writes this absolute masterpiece. Huan Wen reads it and is just blown away. Too brilliant, in fact.
Too brilliant.
He realized instantly that if the king saw this poem, he'd recognize Wen Tingyan's superior talent and might favor him over Huan Wen. His own position felt threatened by his ghostwriter's genius.
Oh, no. What did he do?
This is the dark part. Huan Wen poisoned Wen Tingyan to death.
He killed him.
Killed him. Then he just copied the poem and submitted it as his own work.
Mm-hmm.
It's a chilling story about how envy can literally lead to destruction.
Yeah.
Talent seen not just as competition, but as an existential threat.
Wow. That's incredibly dark. So bringing it back to Yu Fei, Zhangze is telling him.
He's telling him, look, you're brilliant, your essay proves it, but in this environment, with people like Zhang Bangchang around, that very brilliance makes you a target.
Right.
It's that timeless warning about envy of the virtuous and jealousy of the capable.
Your talent might not bring you fame, it might bring you danger, just like it did for Su Qin and Wen Tingyan. Be careful.
That's a heavy warning. How does Zhang Bangchang react to Zhangze saying all this, making these pointed comparisons? Oh, he knows exactly what Zhangze is implying. The text says Zhen Bangchang is just seething, furious. He's been called out, implicitly but clearly, because the historical parallels hit way too close to home.